Hello class, Pastor Martin here. I am actually in Monticello, Mississippi. I had a surprise trip that I needed to take for my niece's graduation. So I'm not able to be in the class this morning, but I did not want to miss it. Pastor Nell, me and Josh are having a great time here at London's graduation, but we miss you in Cali. Sure wish that you guys could be here. But to the rest of the class, I had a chance to visit today the place where I grew up. I had a chance to visit with Joshua the gravesite of my parents and just a lot of things, able to show him where I went to school. And actually, I'm at the school I graduated from, Monticello High School in Monticello, Mississippi, Lawrence County, sitting on the front steps where I used to enter. It was at this school that I learned the difference between the haves and the have-nots. It was at this school that I got to see a lot of people do a lot of great things. But it was also at this school that I was given a mindset that maybe my place in life was to be poor. But what I also noticed at this school that was untaught was there were groups of people here that entered and walked in these hallways of the rich in my town, the prosperous that lived in this city. And I always wondered how they became prosperous and how they stayed prosperous. And all of, it didn't take very long to find out that there are societies in every community, and the money sort of, circulates between all of these families. I never learned the secrets on how to enter these societies, especially here in Mississippi. But one of the biggest blessings in my life is that I was able to move to a town called Omaha, Nebraska. And in Omaha, Nebraska, there's this great climate for people to build relationships with others and make one another very wealthy. You know the story of Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. Maybe you don't know the story. Maybe you just understand that just a couple of weekends ago, 35,000 very wealthy people invaded the town of Omaha, shut down Nebraska Furniture Mart, Borsheim's, and all these great places. Well, what I've learned about Berkshire Hathaway is that Warren Buffett started investing several years ago with him and his friends, a very small entity that's now one of the best companies in the world for investments. It started with people who knew one another and trusted one another. They worked through lots of systems. They did lots of research to make it happen. I want to let you in on a secret. The reason I started this class is that I've had this dream in my heart forever, it seems. And the dream has been to be a part of a group of people that are highly successful and very wealthy. My problem was I got stuck in the church world, and pastors aren't supposed to be talking about wealth and maybe even making people wealthy. But I have not been able to bury this dream. Probably no one knows better about this than Pastor Nell, who's with you this morning, and maybe she can shed some light on how I think. But just because I've been called to be a pastor, to me, doesn't mean that I can't help people become very wealthy and successful. The reason I formed this class is because of that hope. And I'm hoping that in this class, there might be a few people that are interested in hearing about my idea. Number one, I'm hoping that I can find people in my church, there at Ambassadors Worship Center, and maybe others around the world who might help me form this Kingdom Commonwealth Corporation, just like Berkshire Hathaway. Just several families and several friends and several people who come together, put our money together and begin to invest. Invest in other companies, invest in stocks and land and anything that we think is advisable for us to invest in. Of course, we have to find the right entity. Of course, there needs to be trust between us. There needs to be research. We need to connect with the right people to help us organize. But I really believe it's time. As a matter of fact, I'm absolutely certain that it's time. And we're going to launch in one way or the other. How y'all doing? Good to see you. I am doing, yeah. All right. I really know it's time, so I'm launching. In just a few minutes, there's going to be a small group discussion there in the class. Hopefully Pastor Nell can lead it. Here's the steps I think we need to take. Number one, and it'll probably take us the rest of the year to work this out, to have it make sense and have it be solid. But we need to do lots of research. What kind of entity is it? What does it look like? How do we form this entity? Making sure that it's legal, obviously, with the IRS and with Nebraska. You know, that there are these ideas in which you can form organizations where groups of people come together to do things that they could not do on their own. So research, putting the right people around us, developing the entity, and beginning to invest. There are some things that we can make happen, I believe. So there's going to be a discussion here in a moment. And number one, I want you all to be honest. This is not Pastor Martin trying to make someone do something. This is simply Martin Williams, who has a dream that started right here at this high school. And it's just an opportunity for some of the rest of you to perhaps be a part of something big. Be honest in your small groups. You're going to break up in small groups of no more than 5 people so that everybody can comment. How do you feel about this idea? Number one, how do you feel about it? Would you feel safe in doing something like this? Do you think churches should or should not get involved? Obviously, your mindset's going to be very important. You'll need to discuss perhaps what are some of the things that you see in your mind that we would need to do, the steps, the organization, obviously. And then thirdly, what type of investments do you see that we could do as a group that perhaps we could not do separately, that we could do together? So that would be a real blessing to me. After you've had these discussions, as far as I'm concerned, your class can be over, can be done for the day. It will be a great time to discuss. So there are lots of people gathering around me now. The parking lot is filling up with hundreds, if not a couple thousand people coming for this high school graduation in which my niece is graduating. But more important than that, I really have a burden for not just me being wealthy. Walking the hallways of the school, I decided that there had to be a time in life for me to also be prosperous. But more than that, I believe that all of us can be prosperous if we stick together, use our heads with the anointing of the Lord and investing in smart things. I think in 10 years we could do some amazing things. So it's a blessing to be able to talk to you. Again, I'm sorry I could not be in class, but it's going to be a great class. All right. I'll see you all in the morning. Bye-bye.